Today we're looking at the top charts, the top free games in the App Store. The question is, out of all these games, are any of them worth playing? Because a lot of them look like they are just junk to me. So we have to dive and see how deep down we need to go in this list before we find something that's actually worth playing. Let's take a look and see what 10 actually made it in the top 200. All right, it's starting off pretty good because in spot number 3, we have Roblox. And Roblox is obviously an amazing game. It's number 1 in the action chart with 13 million ratings and a 4.5 rating. Now, what is Roblox? For those of you that don't know, it's a game that has you being able to do anything in a sandbox universe. It is massive, like Minecraft, but in a different format, of course. But you're given the ability to build anything and have players play your build of whatever it is you want. Many people love Roblox. My kids love Roblox. Adults love Roblox. It depends on if you are a builder, a player, a consumer, or someone that just enjoys some fun type stuff. And it's done really well on mobile as well. To be honest with you, my kids particularly and most often play on mobile, not even on PC. So this one is the first one that's a good pick. And it's at number 3. So now we have a bunch of these other games that are like, meh. But then when we get to number 10, we have Pokemon TCG Pocket. This is the newest card collecting style Pokemon game that is actually gorgeous. The cards that you can unlock inside of this are amazing looking. It really is probably the best experience you could have for someone that is trying to have a Pokemon card collecting experience but doesn't actually have the physical Pokemon cards. Here, you can do it within this title. It is extremely popular. Pokemon, of course, and it's even getting popular over on YouTube as well, with some creators covering this on a regular basis. It makes me wonder, should I be covering games like this on a regular basis? I mean, it's Pokemon related, card collecting. How hard could it be? At the end of the day, this one is the number 1 game in cards and sitting at number 10 on the list for the overall free most popular game. All right, so then we scroll down and we get to number 15, which is a Supercell game. Remember to use code ECHO in any Supercell game that directly supports my channel. This is number 4 in action, 4.7 stars on the ratings, and Brawl Stars is the most popular game from Supercell Games. It is a 3v3 brawler where you have a bunch of different brawlers inside of Brawl Stars. You see what I'm doing here? It makes sense. And they do a bunch of different objective-based game modes. It's an esports, it's extremely competitive, yet extremely casual player friendly as well. This is one of the best mobile games of all time, in my opinion. They are continuously bringing out new brawlers to the point where there's just too many at this point for me to even digest. But for players who are playing this game every single day, it is a welcome change every time a new brawler comes to the game, or a new IP like Toy Story just came to the game. This one, beautiful. Now let me take a second and introduce you to Apocalypse, a game that has waifus like no other waifus I've ever seen in a game before. But wait, let me take a second and thank Apocalypse for sponsoring today's video and urge all of you that if you're interested in playing this game at any point throughout this video, make sure you download it with my link in the description. Gets you the game for free. The first 100 users to use my gift code ECHO0681 are gonna get themselves an exclusive gift. This is available from December 14th to January 26th. I have to say that the graphics here are definitely leading in the industry, specifically for mobile games. They are absolutely incredible, but it's not just about the waifus, it's not just about the girls, it's also about the gacha mechanic and the gameplay. Now let's dive into this gacha mechanic and let's do a 10 pull right here with all of you so you can see what the mechanic looks like when you want to unlock new waifus for your account. Let's see what we're gonna pull in right here with our 10, and definitely a new arsenal that we could take into battle. Oh, you want to see the battles? Let me show you. But as you can see, these battles are quite cute and fun, and I have a unicorn that's crushing things. What better time to dive into the game than right now during the anniversary event? You're gonna see different anniversary features throughout the game when you dive in. Whether you wanna follow the lore of the game, engage in the battles from the game, hang out with the waifus inside of the game, or do your draws inside of the game, Apocalypse has something for all players. And of course, Demonica. We have the different draws that we can do for Demonica, and this is a really beautiful feature with some delightful characters that we can unlock inside of the game. Just look at all of them. a gorgeous legendary on the account. I want to again thank Apocalypse for sponsoring today's video, and if you find the urge to play the game, my link is in the description for you to download it. All right, so only 2 down at number 17. This is the 4th game on the list, is Subway Surfers, and we have to mention this because although it's just an endless runner, this is one of the first mobile games to ever drop. It's one of the first mobile games ever. Endless Runner looks really good. They've definitely kept up with the upgrades and with the graphical upgrades, I should say, over time, but it's a very simplistic game. Inside of this one, you're just running on the subways and you're just trying to not die and fall. It's that easy. It's one of the original genres on mobile. With that being said, people love playing it. It's actually pretty amazing. Okay, we got another one right here. Geometry Dash is another really good title. It's essentially a platformer that is extremely complex. It can get very difficult at times, has some really great sound mechanics inside of the game. The music in this is really beautiful. And on top of that, the graphics are pretty sweet, although simplistic. So simplistic and sweet at the same time. But be warned, rage factor can be very high inside of this one. The game is not easy. It does not lend you a hand along the way. You are going to need to be amazing at it to progress as the game goes on and on. But Geometry Dash has been another one that's been popular for a really long time amongst many different players, deserving of being on this list. And I'm glad that it's only sitting at what? Number 19 on the list. And you know what? Right after that, you have Among Us, which is another really good one. This was probably the game that got everyone through COVID. Play with your friends. Who's the killer? Yeah, Among Us. You know, everyone knows what Among Us does. I'm not the biggest fan of the title. I'm not someone who spent a lot of time playing Among Us at all, but we know that this had a cult following, which in my opinion lends itself well to being sitting at number 20 on the list, which is actually probably very fair to say that it's earned that spot. All right, we have to go all the way to 33 to get to Candy Crush, but honestly, is Candy Crush even worthy of being on the list? Is a puzzle style game like this worthy of being on a list like this today? I'm not convinced, although this is probably the most popular puzzle title of all time, and I'm a little embarrassed to share this, but it captured much more time of my own than I wanted to give. It's a great puzzle game if you're looking for puzzle games, so it deserves to be on here, but man, I don't know. We'll go on to the next. All right, number 37, Call of Duty Mobile. The first, console-like game on the list with number 9 in action, 4.7 stars on the ratings. Call of Duty Mobile is, in my opinion, the absolute best shooter game on mobile. It brings me back to when I played Modern Warfare 2 with my friends on console. The maps are very similar. The gameplay is similar. You have zombies inside of this game. You have regular old school PvP. You have Battle Royale. Modern Warfare or I should say not Modern Warfare, Call of Duty on mobile is really in my opinion, the best one. I will go take this one over Warzone Mobile any day of the week. This one's been around for a few years, and I do believe it gives you the best overall shooter experience of any shooters that are on mobile right now. So if I'm playing a shooter, this is going to be the one every single day of the week. Oh my God, we got to go all the way to number 59 before we get to Madden Mobile 25. This is sitting in number 2 in sports, 4.7 on the ratings. And it's Madden, man. I mean, if you understand what it's like to play football, American football, this is gonna be the best one that's on mobile. And in my opinion, that is definitely true. The grind mechanic is so much different on mobile than it was back when I played it on console back in the day. It's even different now on console than it was on console back in the day. This is the game that both of my sons are probably the most addicted to, along with Brawl Stars, of course. But man, it's definitely deserving of being on the charts, and I'm actually a little surprised that it wasn't a little bit higher from number 59. It's a little disappointing that it didn't get a little bit more love. All right, number 72, we have The Sims Free Play. The Sims is always a great game. Very casual as well, but if you're looking to experience life outside of your normal life, but normal life, you know what I mean? Like, you're not a superhero, you're not slaying demons, you are playing as a normal person, creating people, building families, building homes, and going to work. like regular everyday person stuff. Oh yeah, falling in love too. Oh yeah. This is going to be the nice casual version of that. Definitely not your action-packed style game, but something that has an addictability to it that a lot of people keep coming back to. It's worthy of being on the list for sure. It's definitely a good one, but it's also surprising the number of games that are worse than this title that are on the list above it. Again, this one's sitting at number 72. But right underneath that, we have My Singing Monsters, also a PC title. And this one is number 6 in music, 4.9 in the ratings. What a great game. Inside of this game, you're going to unlock different islands, and then you're going to unlock and essentially fuse together different monsters, each of these monsters having a different singing tone. Once you unlock all of the monsters and evolve them all on each island, the song can play in full and bring you sweet, beautiful bliss. It's actually a really great unlock mechanic, grindy style game. Think of Clash of Clans with building up your base and how you want to build it to the next level, but with monsters that are all going to sing and put a song together without the attacking of other bases and things like that. That's what this one is all about. Absolutely amazing game, so much fun, and well, it can be very free to play if you're patient as well. Definitely worthy of being on the list, and again, number 74, I was expecting better, but underneath that one, we have EA Sports FC. We got a soccer game coming in, also in the 70s. Is this one actually, I wonder if this one's sitting at number 1 in sports. Actually, it can't be if it's lower on the list. But if you like soccer games, here you go. Or football games, depending on where you're from, what you call this. But this one actually looks pretty legit. It's not one that I have played. I'm not a big soccer guy. Sorry, more of an American football kind of guy. But this one actually looks like it's pretty fun along the way. Building up your team. I wonder how much, I guess, yeah, you do have control of this one. It's not just a simulation style game, which is actually quite nice. Number 4 in sports. And so it is not above Madden. Probably above Madden is something ridiculous. So you got Whiteout Survival, a kingdom builder style game, which I've recently played in the channel. It definitely has its positives and negatives about it, but it's a legit game if you want to spend a whole bunch of money. And right underneath that one, we also have Minion Rush, which is number 7 in family. And this is another one of those endless runner style games. I remember one years ago, I was going to buy a new mobile phone and I brought my son to the, Verizon store with me. And this was on one of the phones. He was absolutely in love with playing it on that phone, and then came home and downloaded it on his iPad. Definitely a fun runner, endless runner style game. Goofy, good graphics, good progression. Definitely simplistic style game. I mean, again, we're looking at something like a Subway Surfers, endless runner style, but at the end of the day, it's probably worthy of being on the list, and at least it's a decent game. At number 136, we have Crossy Road. I mean, this is the next one that I would look at and say, yeah, this one's kind of fun, but again, very simplistic mechanic. You're a freaking chicken, pixelated at that, crossing the road, trying to make it to the next level. It's easy stuff, and let me redo that. Then at number 136, we have Crossy Road, which is stretching it, saying that it's a great game deserving of being here. You're essentially a chicken or some other type of character crossing a road in a pixelated world. Simplistic, arcade style game, but also very good and fun and addicting at the same time. At 136, I could say I would download it and say that it's worth playing, but again, not like we're looking at some like AAA title over here. Again, we're looking at mobile, but still, you get what I'm saying. At number 145, we have Mario Kart Tour. Really a great game. If you like racing your go-karts around, you love Mario Kart from back in the day, well, you're going to love it on mobile too. I really like this one because the graphics are really sweet and it brings you back to the gameplay that you used to love back in the day. Although here, the graphics are even better than they were back in the day, which is crazy because we're looking at mobile, but Nintendo 64 versus this, yeah, there's been quite a technology change along the way. I like the vertical style as well, lends it well to being a very casual style game. At the end of the day, definitely a fun one worthy of being on the list and probably should be up higher. Retro Bowl is another one. At 149, this one brings me back to Madden 92. This should be higher up on the list as well. Not much more to say except for a really solid, fun football game that is deserving of better ratings than it's getting. Oh my God, PUBG Mobile is at 165, one of the top shooters of all time on mobile, just inching its way downward on the list. I did say that we had Call of Duty Mobile up towards the top, which is my preferred game, but this one is still very good, and I'm actually surprised that it's so far down the list with so many garbage games above it. I guess a lot of this stuff has to do with what garbage games are blowing up on social media, which ones are being advertised pretty strong, but PUBG Mobile is a really great shooter that you guys can enjoy and play. that are just actually, it's a solid game. It's not just a shell of a game to try and get people to download it and play. And my iPad has completely gone black. What is going on? But I will say that Pokemon Go was on this list as well, down at the bottom around nearing 200, which is crazy to me. But if you guys want to see more about what games we should be playing, subscribe to the channel because every day I've got you covered.